Hello, my name is Jacob, and I'm a Norse Pagan. And today I have a very different video for you. So I was recently at the Illinois gathering, as I've been talking about a lot recently, and I didn't record a full video there. Instead, I decided to kind of record a bunch of these smaller videos to see how this format would work using footage from that gathering as well. And today I'm going to actually be talking about a ritual and really opening up the doors to my thought process and how I put these on, mostly because I do want to share this one with you because this is probably the most complicated ritual I have ever done. So now I'm going to become a small little rectangle in the corner of this and just start playing for you this ritual. Now, obviously one problem with that when I record rituals is I can't really move around, I can't get interesting angles, so I really just set this up on the balcony to record. But what I really want to do is walk you through my thought process with this ritual and kind of share with you what I've learned from it, what kind of came from it, and hopefully it can inspire you within your own practice, whether that's private or within group. And that's because I did something I haven't done for a ritual before, and that was Galdr Runic chanting, something I've barely touched on in this channel because it's not something I fully understood. So what I really wanted to do with this ritual was to go out there and be like, you know what, I'm going to practice Runic Galdr chanting within this ritual and see how it went. And so I think it was quite successful, and there's some notes that I took mentally about how it went and how I want to continue it to go. But from my understanding of Runic Galdr chanting is essentially you choose the runes that you want and the attributes that go with them, and those are what you actually chant. So in this case, it was Gebo, Wunio, and Pertho. Now remember, all runes are going to have a different pronunciation. This is just kind of what I went with. It's what I know. And I think what you put into that is really what matters. So the reason I went with Gebo, Wunio, and Pertho is because they do have very similar attributes in the sense of friendship, fellowship, gift-giving, celebration. So with Gebo, I really was focusing on the exchange of gifts between us and the gods. And then within Wunio, that's what I wanted. I wanted joy, I wanted prosperity, happiness. That's what I wanted to come from this exchange of gifts. And what I wanted to lead to was Pertho, which is celebration. And so these three runes put together within the Galdr chant was kind of the spell, so to speak, and what I wanted to come from it. So the actual ritual setup itself, as you can kind of see in the video, we did have a central fire pit, but we didn't actually light it yet. So we did bring out candles so that way we could actually see in this video, you could actually see anything as well. But also I needed to see because I did have my Shaman Visor on. The idea of the Shaman Visor, obviously I did get this from Heilung. I watched Heilung and I'm like, why do they have this? And when I started doing research, I found out this is something that's very popular and common within the shamanic work. One, to remove yourself from others. And especially as people watch this YouTube channel, when I'm performing a ritual, I really don't want them to see me as, hello, my name is Jacob and I'm Norse Pagan. I want to be able to remove that from a ritual atmosphere. And so I think the visor really helps me transform into someone that isn't someone that they watch, isn't someone that you watch on YouTube. But for me, what it allows me to do is enter the right headspace because I can barely see with the actual visor on. And so I can only kind of see where I'm moving, kind of. I'm very blind, honestly, when I have this thing on. And so I really do think it helps me get into a trance-like state. Now, the reason the fire pit is not lit is because we chose this as a folk fire, as we've begun to call it, which we've done before in the past, where we kind of put everything on almost like a funeral pyre type setup. We had this pallet of wood sitting on top of the fire pit, and then we had a bunch of kindling and other wood below, with some lighter fluid on it, and that way we can spark it, get it going, and have a really big fire. Something that I have to open the door on a little bit more is something that I've kind of hinted on, especially if you listen to the folk podcast. I talk about a little bit more there, and that is my shamanic practice, because it's one of those things I feel like I always have to have a precursor. I am not declaring myself a shaman. I am not a shaman. I am merely using shamanic practice to improve my own personal religious practice. And now I'm opening up more to the group atmosphere. I believe shamanic journeys are a very personal experience, especially for, your community. Not everyone should pursue a shamanic path. Some people will go down a druidic, some people will not seek a path, some people will go down the more the runic path. But for me personally, the shamanic path is something that has really, attracted itself to me, and I've been practicing for about a year to a year and a half at this point. So as far as this ritual, what that meant is bringing in a drum trance. Now, this is something that I didn't necessarily get. So what you may notice is the two gentlemen sitting next to the fire pit. Now, this is another thing that I kind of borrowed from watching Heilung, and it's something that, I realize is very important with these group rituals, especially with Galdr chanting. And that is, the Heilung has the warriors, and so if you want to call them that, that's fine. But basically, they're my two chanters, probably the best way to go for it, but really the two people that help me with the ritual. And so they're also two people that I went through a trance with. Now, shamanic trances and drum trances are something that I've been practicing at various gatherings for a while now, and they're really something hard to record, and something I don't know if they're really I really don't think they're things that should be recorded. So about an hour before the ritual itself, we went ahead and discussed the logistics of it. I mean, obviously we have to know our cues, when to switch the chant, and things like that. And so we did discuss this beforehand and kind of practice a few times as far as the chanting, getting in the right rhythm, finding our place, and then we also gave our offerings onto the pyre as well, and kind of had our own personal moment with it. And then about 30 or 40 minutes of this time was spent into a shamanic trance. And so me and the two guys went out into like the field, basically looked up to the bright, almost full moon, and I kept the shamanic beat, the, basically 99 beats per second, or 99 beats per minute. Oh my gosh, per second, that'd be crazy. So I kept that steady beat, that shamanic beat over and over and over again, kept it going. And then I basically led them through a tree meditation where we felt connected to the trees, we cleared our minds, we kind of became part of everything. And then as far as like Nordic shamanism, what you do is you kind of lead yourself through the world tree to commune with the gods. And so the gods we were connecting with were Odin and Freya. So we called out to those deities, asked them for their permission to, basically perform this ritual to honor the ancestors, to honor all the shamanic ancestors as well. So basically we were asking permission for that. And so after that drum trance, we went out, we got ready. I sounded the horn, which signified everyone come out for the ritual itself. So I do want to go ahead and start playing you the audio from this as well, because we're getting probably pretty close to the chanting to really start to pick up here. But one thing I want to note before I go ahead and start playing the audio here is something that was pretty incredible, and that is right when I went to go invoke the gods, hail the Aesir, the Vanir, the spirits. Right after I got done with that, you'll be able to hear it, a little bit down the audio way, but coyotes just started going crazy in the woods. Basically, right as I said, hail the spirits, it was like, and that's why my response was to do the same. And you're going to hear them throughout the video. So something really cool that, really felt like the spirits were talking back to us. And then right after that, we get into the Galdr chanting. So I'm going to let that go for a little bit and let you enjoy that before I come back and talk about a little bit more of the ritual itself. But I hope you enjoy the start of this ritual as we begin to find our feet. And then I begin to ask people to bring their offerings to the pyre. So enjoy.
Aesir, Vanir, spirits, ancestors. It's time to join us in celebration, in friendship. Ooh! Ooh! Nights ago, we asked you to join us around this fire. And it seems that you've decided to join us. Cable, Wunyo, Perto, 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 Cable, Wunyo, Unio Petho! Gabo 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 Unio Petho! Petro! Gabo Unio 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 Petro!
So as we're getting close to the end of these offerings here, what you'll begin to notice is that I actually go on and I go ahead and throw something into the fire. It was basically my smudging stick, which was like lavender, sage, and mugwort, I believe. And I threw it in there to go ahead and ignite the fire. And I had to actually throw a candle in there to get it going as well. But after that, big fire, definitely after that. And then what we had discussed previously with my my two warriors, my two ritual participants, I would blow the horn, and then we would do Gabo Unio Pertho 3 more times, and then we would bring in the chorus essentially. So the chorus I got from the Have 'Em All, Jackson Crawford's edition, where it talks about gives you the Old Norse as well. And the line I chose was Gefinder Halir, which basically means hail to a good host. And I felt like this was really good to bring into a ritual that about the exchanging of gifts, of celebration, and things like that. So I brought Gefinder Herlier into it. And so the idea was I would shout Gefinder, and then the two warriors, the two participants would shout Halir. And then after a while, of course, we get everyone else saying, every time I say Gefinder, everyone says Halir. And so then we would do that 3 times, and then Gabo Unio Pertho, Gabo Unio Pertho, Gabo Unio Pertho, Gefinder, Halir, Gefinder, Halir, Gefinder, Halir, to really get bring that all into the ritual itself.
Gabo Unio Petro! 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 Gefinder! Halir! Gefinder! Halir! Gefinder! Halir! Gabo Unio Petro! Gabo Unio Petro! Gabo Unio Petro! Gefinder! Halir! Gefinder! Halir! Gefinder! Halir! Gabo Unio Petro! Gabo Unio Petro! Gabo Unio Petro! Gefinder! Halir! Gefinder! Halir! Gefinder! Halir! Gabo Unio Petro! Gabo Unio Petro! Gabo Unio Petro! Gefinder! Halir! Gefinder! Halir! Gefinder! Halir! Gabo Unio Petro! Gabo Unio Petro! Gabo Unio Petro! Gabo Unio Petro! Gefinder! Halir! Gefinder! Halir! Gefinder! Halir! Gabo Unio Petro! Gabo Unio Petro! Gabo
So something I noticed about this going through it is Runic chanting is something that is very powerful to get people into a trance-like state, to really get people, in the mindset of the ritual, which is obviously something Heilung does as well. It's really depending on people really giving themselves to the performance, to the ritual. But something that's important to note, and something I've learned, is you have to make sure that you bring people down from it. You can't just put them into a trance. You can't just get them connected to everything and then just leave them be. You have to kind of bring them down. And so bringing that into this ritual was quite difficult. So the idea of it is eventually I stopped the Galdr chanting and kind of led us down through the trance, through the world tree again. And so this is something I really want to let play for you because I thought it was really exciting, because we climbed the world tree when it was just me and my ritual participants and then my warriors. And so we really just had that, guiding us through the trance, guiding us through the world tree. And then I also decided to go ahead and start bringing us down as well. So we were descending the world tree as far as the trance goes, while also bringing in, elements such as Odin and Freya, bringing in, the gods, the spirits, bringing in the chanting again, but really guiding people down. So it's something that I felt was really important. This is actually something I decided through the ritual. I was like, I need to bring these people down. I can't just leave them in a trance-like state. So again, this is something I'm glad I did this as like kind of a, not necessarily practice, but a rough draft for a ritual like this that I want to bring into Yule as well. So I'm going to let that play. And again, let me know down below. This is one of those things that I was a little scared to share. And this is why I wanted to do a full video at analyzing this ritual, because this is something that I'm really stepping outside my comfort zone, really expanding on the basic bloat, really expanding on the basic offering. So this is something I want some feedback on, but please, positive feedback as well. I hope this is making sense. I'm really wanting to improve this ritual, to bring it into, a larger sphere for Yule. So I am looking for feedback, but I hope I'm also hitting the right notes, as I'm starting to refine this ritual as well. And hopefully again, it inspires you to get out there and try some new things. So here's the kind of the end of the ritual.
Aesir! Body! Spirits! Ancestors! This fire is to the gods, to Aesir, to Vadir, to Asgard, to Helheim, to Asgard, Valhalla! This fire is for you! Gebo! There. Odin, Freya, bring before you believers in the ways of old. Before me, a fire lined with gold. Odin, Freya, Aesir, Body. We were free. We had roots. We had hands. We had chests. We digged our feet in the earth. Our hands, our leaves, they reach the star. Chest, feet, stretches to the stars, the moon, to the earth. If only they could see us now. It's for all of you. The old gods, the forest, the earth below. We began this journey on a rocky shore, waking up to the crashing waves. If only you could see us now.
So as we're descending into the end of the ritual, I'll kind of let it play through here, where we have me come out with this gigantic thing of Russian sage that Zach in the community grew and harvested himself. I mean, this thing was like a torch, and he said just burn the whole thing. And so also I haven't really mentioned it in this video yet, but that pyre was getting so hot. It was so big. I mean, it was crazy. Now, much like the very beginning, I did actually take this Russian sage, and on my two warriors, I drew the runes in the air. That just felt like something I needed to do. I don't know why I did it, but I was like, I'm going to draw Gebo, Wunyo, and then Pertho on the two warriors, on the two people that helped me. Again, this is the idea of helping them get out of the trance, to help them descend from the world tree. And then I went to every single person and cleansed them once again with the sage before finally closing the ritual, thanking the gods, and throwing it onto the fire, unsuccessfully at first, but you know, still counts. So I threw it on there, ritual ended, everyone just had a nice good holler and hoot. And I did take my two gentlemen over and let them decompress, talk to them, figure out where their mind was at. So, you know, thank you to Jared and William that helped me with this. I hope you guys had a great time. It was an honor. You know, Jared, we had just met and we went through this ritual together. William, we've known each other for a while. Wonderful ritual. I think we did a great job and I've learned a lot from it. Zach had a really great moment. So Zach was the other fellowship leader here at this ritual, and pulled everyone together, and we all just kind of looked into the fire, got real close, and really just had a really good community moment, which ultimately, if my goal for this ritual is for the idea of gift giving, exchanging things with the gods, with our friends and our folk, the idea of joy, the idea of celebration, if those were my goals for this runic spell and this chant, I feel like it was a success, and I think that's ultimately what matters. So a few things I've learned from this ritual. Galdr chanting hurts your throat. So definitely, you know, making sure everyone's aware of that. I do think that when I take this into a bigger ritual, I'm going to have more warriors. I'm going to have more people help me out. I want to improve the music of it. Like, I had two people drum and now, and including myself, and I want to bring more drums into it for this next time, possibly more music. I wanted to, improve the chorus. Gefinder Halir was great, but I want to bring some more changes, but that's going to require some more choreography, so to speak. And it's always going to be, I feel like, that balance of making sure it's entertaining, but also spiritual at the same time. So again, I hope that this video is well received. I hope it made sense, because this is not really something that exists in the Norse pagan YouTuber sphere of someone saying, hey, here's this ritual I did, and here's me explaining it. And I think it is because of that fear of scrutiny. So I do feel like I'm really opening up here. There's definitely that fear of scrutiny, sharing something as sacred as a ritual like this, that I did choose to record, that I did choose to walk you through. But I am looking for feedback. So please go down below, respectfully, I hope, and let me know if there's anything that you've learned in your personal practice that you think I could bring to this ritual to make it more successful. And please let me know what you thought of this ritual, if you thought it was something that was powerful, and maybe even from the footage I've shown you here, if it's something that you even felt through the video as well. So again, we'll see how this goes. We'll see how this video went. Again, I don't think this is really anything that exists online as it stands now. So I hope this works out. I hope you all enjoyed it. I hope I was, informative, but also, this ritual was entertaining. So thank you. And until the hall, until the next ritual, Gebo Wunyo Bertho, and Skull.